This, of course, is only the beginning of a significant change this year for us on the community front. By June of next year, we'll have the NewTech Challenge in 2 more categories, InsurTech and Decentralized Finance. And of course, if that's the case, then we'll be hoping to hear from many of you as organizations as you put forward your innovative ideas. But really, it's for me to kick the thing off by saying thank you, particularly for Capgemini, for being this active participant as a community partner. It really is important to us as an organization when we're dealing with brands in some 50 to 60 countries around the globe, whether we're dealing with huge numbers of financial brands in about 2,500 brands globally, that we work with quality organizations to be able to share innovative ideas, because best practice sharing is the core of what this organization is about. Clearly, we are not the ones with solutions, but we are here to be the catalyst to enable you and your organization to flourish and grow into the future. So thank you very much for giving your time up to be with us today. And I'll pass back to Sarah to take us through the program later on this afternoon. Thank you all very much indeed. And good luck to the people who have been shortlisted as nominees for today's event.
Thank you very much, John. So as John mentioned, my name is Sarah Kachansky and I'm the leader of this open finance community. I'm going to be moderating today's session, but before we get started, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of our community and its aims. John's already done an excellent job of giving you kind of the high level perspective, but I just wanted to reiterate that, we provide a space where companies of all sizes, both those within the financial services sector and those in adjacent industries, can come together to collaborate on innovation in open finance. Again, as John has mentioned, this community was formed in partnership with Capgemini, whom Chorus has worked with for a long time, which just shows the sort of value of the relationship. Prior to this, we worked together on the FinTech Advisor platform, and that's actually where the NewTech Challenge, the payments leg of which we'll be announcing the winners of today, was founded. We also work with them in a number of other ways, including producing research reports, which are excellent. I can say so. I haven't read them myself. Some of these, which you can see on your screen, you can see them there. But if you'd like to go and read them, you can go and find them on the Chorus website. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into today's session. So we're going to have a keynote speech, then we're going to have our winner for our bronze award announcement, then we're going to have a case study, then we'll go on to silver, and then we'll hear from our partners Capgemini, followed by the gold winner announcement, and closing out from a presentation on best practices in open banking. So do stick around all afternoon, we have lots to talk to you about. But first up, we're going to have our keynote speech from Nika Kurdiani, who's the Deputy CEO at TBC Bank and CEO at Space, which is the first digital bank in Georgia. Space has been amazingly successful, but I will let Nika tell you all about it. Over to you, Nika.
Thanks a lot. Should I be sharing the presentation myself?
It's up to you.
Yeah, I can do that. If you just allow me to share. Yeah, great. Thank you. Just give me a sec. And tell me if you see the screen.
We see everything.
We do indeed.
Great. Just give me a sec. It's not that easy. Here we go. Perfect. So thanks firstly for having me back at Chorus. This is a new name for, I've been with EFMA before for many years and having basically great experience, and I'm glad that you guys went global, and congrats with that. That's my first encounter in the last 1.5 years, I guess. So great to be back. And great to have our story presented, what we did in the last several years. Basically in Georgia and in Uzbekistan. Firstly, several words on TBC as a banking group, financial services group. We are a Georgian origin company, which is now UK-based holding group, basically, which is listed on the London Stock Exchange and part of FTSE 250 index. premium listed in London, and we are present already in several countries. We are the biggest bank in Georgia with approximately market share in various segments around 40%. We have the largest ecosystem of digital services in Georgia, and I will be talking about it in a short while. Plus, we entered Uzbekistan in 2019, where we have the leading payments platform and the leading digital bank, the first and now the leading digital bank. And basically, we've been proving our success with very high profitability rates, ROE significantly above 20 in many years, in many last years, and growing. Basically, for now, we are serving group-wide approximately 13 million users, and the verticals, basically, I mentioned the word ecosystem, which we built over the years. The verticals are in various segments. Would it be payments, segments and businesses? Would it be payments? Would it be classified platforms or e-commerce platforms in housing, in auto, in health, in lifestyle? Would it be ticketing, discount services, or various? I won't go into everything, but for instance, we also hold approximately 70% per our estimations in Georgia of classified and e-commerce business, 70% of online traffic. Basically, as I mentioned, we entered in 2019 Uzbekistan, and this is basically what I will be diving deeper. Here it goes. Firstly, there is a question, why Uzbekistan always? And actually, if you take our part of the world, which frequently is referred to as the post-Soviet space, Uzbekistan is one of the biggest countries after Russia, Ukraine, and there comes afterwards Uzbekistan with 35 million people. And the fantastic thing about the population is that the average age of the population is 29. So it's a very young country, and the population basically grows every year, approximately by 500,000 people. So it's a growing country with already a massive population, and it is reforming itself. In the last 5 years, there have been massive reforms of market liberalization, many new entrants coming to the market, massive push on digitalization and technology. So it is a big market with very interesting upsides, so to say. Internet users already at 24 million, mobile users at 30 million. Social media well penetrated, but still further room for growth. And what is very interesting, that they have already 30 million banking cards in circulation, and I will come to that point a bit later. TBC Group in Uzbekistan, as I said, we entered the country in 2019. Initially, once we understood that we strategically want to go there, we said basically, that we do not want to acquire a existing banking institution, because of course we all know, who has experience with acquisitions of banking institutions, there is lots of legacy. Technology is something that you have to work on, culture of the company, many difficulties. And these difficulties translate frequently into, time spent on non-core activities, basically spent on transformation. Whereas we said, why don't we apply for a greenfield license, where basically we, from the very beginning, knew that we want to have a digital-only play in Uzbekistan. We didn't want to have branch network. We didn't want to have capital-intensive items in our roadmap. So we said we would enter digitally. By that moment, our neobank in Georgia called Space, and this is where the name comes from. The brand name of our neobank in Georgia is Space, because we had to differentiate from TBC, the incumbent, and then we created a separate brand for a separate digital value proposition. Was very successful already. So we had approximately 500,000 registered users. And we said, why don't we export to an extent Space? And this is what basically we started working on, applying for a license and getting space ready to enter Uzbekistan. But in the meantime, we understood that the market was developing and we wanted not to have time lost on customer acquisition. So we looked around and understood that the payment business in Uzbekistan is very developed. Payments apps are developed, and the card circulation basically was already by then very high. So we acquired a majority stake at PayMe, which is the biggest payment app in the country, payment wallet and payment service provider in the country. And basically, by then it stood at 1.3 million registered users. We didn't have banking customers in that moment because we didn't have license. The license we only got in 2020, and we launched in second half of commercially in second half of 2020. But by then already PayMe was acquiring more and more customers, and then the story basically started on two fronts: PayMe expanding further, and the bank launching itself and offering first products. By the third quarter of this year, our total registered customer base stood at 9.5 million already. And I'll come to more figures later, but you can see this massive growth, achieving almost 1/3 of the population being our registered users, which is massive for the time we actually spent in the country, which is like almost 4 years. So in 4 years, we hit 10 million approximately registered users, which we consider as a very good start. However, I mean, there are of course many challenges ahead, and I'll talk a bit about it later. So today we have two businesses in Uzbekistan. One is TBC Bank, TBC Uz as we call it, which has already 2.1 million registered users. And PayMe, which has 7.4 registered users. Bank is offering products which you see on the screen: car loans, cards, savings, account services, payments. We have reward system already, loans, cash loans, and BNPL. Whereas PayMe is B2B and B2C service provider. For merchants, we have QR payments and e-commerce, whereas for private individuals, we have the P2P transfers, utility payments, service payments, wallet services, and many other things around this, like PFM solution, and so on and so on. Now a bit about our banking value proposition in the country. As I mentioned, we are based on space. So we acquired the license in Uzbekistan, where we actually plugged in our digital banking solution platform, which is located physically in Georgia. So the whole team, which is delivering product, commercial support, technology, of course, and professional services like risk management, operational services in different processes like CRM or data capabilities, digital sales and marketing or performance marketing, otherwise, this I call professional services, are all channeled from Georgia. So the bank in Uzbekistan is purely managing the operations, whereas all the business solutions, let's call it this way, are delivered from Georgia. We call it internally Uber-like approach, because basically we have one hub in Georgia, which serves now two geographies. One, the Space Neobank in Georgia, and the second one already internationally, which is Uzbekistan. These are the products and the kind of technology and professional services organization at Space. Basically, when I said professional services, I listed several, but here is the kind of the full list. And we envisage that basically the next countries where we're going to be expanding to, we will be delivering all the services from one location. It makes our life much easier. It creates lots of knowledge in the hub, which we can transfer, so that we are not running around the countries for experience gathering, rather that it's all located in one place basically, and we optimize the knowledge and the processes accordingly in various spots. Now, talking about Uzbekistan's banking environment and open banking topic, as the subject of the meetup is open banking, I wanted to share this, in my opinion, very interesting thing which happens in Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan for many years, basically most of the years from the Soviet times, was quite a locked economy and locked country. So basically, Visa and MasterCard were and still are not massive in the country. So basically, the digitalization of banking services is still quite low and was very low previously. 80% of the banking market is still under state control, so it's state banks. And basically, what happened is that the country decided to create two card systems like Visa and MasterCard, but in Uzbekistan case is Humo and Uzcard, which is direct replica, so to say, but they are only local kind of brands and local service providers. And all the current country basically is served through these cards. I mean, 30 million cards in circulation is exactly the number of cards issued by Humo or Uzcard. These are two companies which are providing card services. Now, the cool thing about these two services is that basically they are totally open in terms of sharing the information of the customers, because basically, and these are the three main ones which we are using, that one can attach card to any app and transact from any app with a card issued by another player. For instance, I will show you the figures afterwards, but you can have a card from another bank and you can attach into TBC app and you can use TBC app if you like it. Another cool thing is that transactions, basically, this I mentioned, transaction origination is done, but in terms of credit portfolio management, it also offers you to, the systems also offer you to basically analyze 12 months of backwards of the information of the customer. Of course, the customer agrees upon this, but basically once they agree, you can pull 12 months of historical data, which you can use in many ways, right? Would it be commercial propositions or would it be credit underwriting? But also it offers you auto collection services, which means that every day, in our case, every evening, we launch a auto collection service. If the customer has to pay back the loan, the customer doesn't have to worry about, repaying by himself. Basically, our machine goes and collects the balances from the whole banking system. So basically, what it triggered, and this kind of approach, what it triggered is that suddenly we have many payment apps on the market, payment wallets. The banks basically are fighting for customer experience and products rather than, locking customers into their cards or into their architecture. So the customer can switch from one bank to another very easily if one decides so, because basically the cards are linkable to any app and any bank basically. And this created a very big market actually for payment wallets and digital apps. However, it also created a huge pressure on players in terms of customer experience and product experience delivery. So, and this was launched back in 2012 or 13, if I remember correctly. So much earlier than this whole discussion started, at least in our part of the world, on open banking. Because, for instance, in Georgia, open banking framework was just introduced last year, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the picture on linked cards. So basically attached cards. If you look at the upper left chart, we have 1.3 million cards in our app, in the TBC Banks app, out of which 850,000 are issued by other players, and they are just attached to our app. Whereas our own issuing quantity stands at 450,000. So we have much more basically cards linked to our app than we issued ourselves. However, basically on the lower side, we see also one interesting insight that until Q1 2022, the transactions from both attached cards and our own cards in terms of number of transactions were growing. However, then we saw a trend of this going a bit down on the side of attached cards. And this is mostly because the other banks started to create their own value propositions. And this is what I was mentioning, that, you know, the customer experience and product experience became really something that all the banks and all the players are now very much looking to, because they saw that, for instance, TBC entered, and in 2 years we had this kind of success. And there are some other entrants too. So basically everybody started to give cashbacks, and different gamification instruments were applied. So basically what we are seeing now is that we have to do much more exercise on making sure that other bank cards are banking with us within our app, rather than only ours. Basically ours is growing and we feel ourselves comfortable there, but we have to make sure that others are still coming to us. In terms of loan portfolio and deposit portfolio, basically we have already 153 million Georgian lari, which is basically you should divide it by 2.5 approximately to arrive at US dollars. We have a portfolio, and it was just launched approximately 1 year ago, properly commercially. Before we were just friends and family mode. And also deposit portfolio follows. What makes us very happy is that we have, of course, local currency lending. We don't have foreign currency loans, and the deposit portfolio is also local currency. So we are very well funded with local deposits. I don't know how much this is the case in other countries, but overall what we saw is that digital players are having troubles in attracting deposits because of trust. People tend to trust traditional conventional banks more for deposits, for savings, rather than digital players. But in our case, somehow on this market, which is quite an emerging market, we saw trust coming to us very much, and this surprised us, to be honest, and we are doing quite well on deposit gathering too. In terms of total registered users, 2.2 million, a bit more than 2 million, out of which we already have 337,000 monthly active users. These are September's of numbers by September. And on daily basis, it's 123 million. So DAU to MAU ratio stands at 33, which is quite healthy in terms of industry averages. But of course, we want to increase it further, and we are working on it massively. And this is also very important and interesting thing, that the customer acquisition cost for us, even if the customer base of registered customers was growing, we kept it around $5 per customer. So it's very low, as you may well understand, and we want to keep it in that levels, even if we are penetrating the market furthermore. What you see on the right side is our showroom. Basically, we don't have branches, but we understood that for deposit gathering, we need to create tangibility, a bit of tangibility, so that somebody will come and see, you know, at least in which place their deposits are. Yes, it is virtual, but people have to feel it somehow. In these outlets, in these showrooms, as we call them, we don't have cash, we don't have nothing where people can do banking in a conventional way. We just have our consultants, whom we call guides, and these guides are guiding customers through the app experience. You see tablets there. This is just for the app experience. We are explaining the customers how to bank with our app, and you can do nothing else in the branch rather than get this explanation, so to say. Let's move to PayMe. PayMe, I mean, as a player, is the biggest app on the market, payments app on the market. The number of registered users is well above 7 million. Actually, yesterday we hit 8 million number. And the number of monthly active users by September stood at 1.9 million, which is also quite a big number, but it still has to increase. And daily active usage stands at 634. So 35% DAU to MAU, a bit better than in the bank, but still we have ambition to increase it above 50 sometime very soon. Number of registered merchants, these are the merchants who are operating through our QR codes or on e-com, basically on e-commerce services. we stand at 54,000. We pushed strongly in last 1.5 years on the acquisition of these customers, registration of these customers, but of course their activation is lagging behind, but we still see an improvement there. We have more than 3,000 monthly active merchants. And now the full accent goes on the activation because the total registered number is creating comfort for us. In terms of basically transactions and volumes, it's massive. For instance, in terms of transaction numbers, in the full year 2021, we processed 111 million transactions, and already in 9 months this year, we have 122 million, 56% increase. So the year will finish with a massive growth. In terms of strategy going forward, basically, this is a bit difficult, maybe chart, but I will try to explain. So we have now 2 players on the market, PayMe and TBC. TBC being a fully digital bank, and PayMe being a payment app with a payment wallet. And basically, we are not, because the frequent question is basically, are we going to merge these 2 institutions? And by no means. We will keep these 2 institutions separate because we see value in PayMe transforming itself into a super app, which is a buzzword nowadays, but it makes sense if you think in terms of various verticals. And we want to concentrate on 3 verticals, which is classified and e-commerce vertical, financial services vertical, and payments vertical. Payments being kind of native to PayMe, whereas financial services will be embedded from TBC Bank, and this is where we are creating synergy. And classified and e-commerce vertical basically will be driving transactional volume to our app. Having 8 million registered users, you know, basically we tested many things. For instance, travel services are already launched, discount services are already launched. When I say discount, I will recall the brand called Groupon. I'm sure you all know. I mean, it's discounts for various shops and various propositions from our partners, from our merchants. So within ourselves, the merchants and our partners will be able to increase their business through accessing somehow our customer base, but at the same time, you know, being part of our reward system, for instance. And at the same time, you know, through on the volumes which they will be processing within our ecosystem, they will be able to be financed through our loans, business loans, or their customers will be able to be financed through our BNPL or cash loans. So all this basically, of course, creates a network effect, the vertical in the middle, the synergies network effects, which is on the other kind of name is flywheel effect. Data, massive data, which will enable us to be commercially much more effective in terms of performance marketing. And for TBC, additionally, it creates the possibility to embed the products and leverage our TBC balance sheet for lending or attracting savings, basically. By this, I am moving to the next one. I have a short video, but I'm not sure if you will hear it. So maybe somebody can help me in terms of voice, if the voice will be coming. I will turn the video on and just let me know.
In Uzbekistan, TBC Group present.
Do you hear the video sound?
We do.
Yes.
You heard?
Yes, we can hear. Yes, we can hear.
Perfect, thank you.
It's 2 biggest fintech companies. In 2019, we expanded our operations to Uzbekistan. Stopping the growth up.
It is loading, but I guess the internet speed is very bad, most probably. I'll try once more. If not, then I'll stop it because I will waste your time.
Opportunities offered by the
No, unfortunately, it is loading, so I don't want to waste your time. And unfortunately, I will have to move to the next slide, which is a thank you. So by this I am finishing, and I will stop sharing my screen. Yeah, this was a short presentation from my side, basically, and of course, this model, or last words from my side, is that this model is all built around one simple thing, which we're trying to achieve, is this flywheel effect, so the network effect, so that within our platform, people can basically find each other, merchants can find customers for themselves, and people can get financed for the services they will be acquiring on our platform, and merchants can finance their working capital needs to increase sales on our platform. So, and the bank is an inherent part of it, because basically it is providing balance sheet for financing, and of course savings and kind of personal financial management tools. And all this, of course, is fueled by the Uzbekistan open banking approach, I will call it this way, where basically you can leverage two card processing systems, Uzcard and Humo, so that you can attract by customer experience and user experience customers from any other player without any possibility for the other players to block them entering your ecosystem. So this is in a nutshell basically our story, which we achieved in the last 3 years. And again, thanks for the possibility to present.
Thank you so much, Nika. That's an absolutely fascinating example. I've honestly never seen anything like it, and I've never seen a market like it. So it's really, really interesting to see. So now we're going to move on to our NewTech Challenge Awards. I'm going to give a very, very brief introduction of how we got to where we are today, and then I'm going to be asking Nika to present our Bronze Award. So today we are going to be celebrating the winners in the NewTech Challenge in the payment sector. And we're aiming to recognize companies innovating in the space of open banking payments. To find our winners, we narrowed down a really huge field of potential candidates, a global field, to just 7 final nominees. We asked our jury and our website visitors to vote on how well each company met 5 requirements. Those requirements were originality, internationality, business potential, impact, and wow factor. However, I should note that our jury's votes had the greater weight. They made up 50% of the final scores compared to other voters. And for their participation, we really must thank our panel of our jury of experts, because they are very busy people. They are all experts in their fields across financial services and many adjacent industries. So again, a huge thanks to them for giving up their time to judge today's awards. So without further ado, I shall let you know who our final 7 nominees were. They were Libyo, OneStep, Modular, M2P, Token, Unbanked, and Wallet Factory. And now, to announce our bronze winner, which will win all of the prizes shown on this slide, I will welcome back Nika. Nika, over to you.
Thank you also for this possibility. It's very, very cool to be presenting the bronze award winner. And I don't want to make it long, the waiting process. It's Token. So congrats to Token. I mean, the model is amazing. The opportunity, I mean, a quick comment from my side. The opportunity which is there with open banking, and to grasp and utilize it so quickly and so well, and give access to many players, banking players or other players, to have this kind of solution integrated is very interesting. And once more, congrats on the idea and on the award.
So congratulations, Token. I believe that there's a representative from Token on the call who might like to say a few words.
Yes, indeed. Hi, everyone. My name is Jess, and I'm the VP of Marketing at Token. I have prepared a very quick presentation to kind of give you a walkthrough of who we are and what we do. But thank you very much, Nika, and to everyone joining me on the call today. So if you'll just allow me to share my screen, we can go ahead and get started. Can you see my screen?
We can indeed. Yes, we can see your screen.
Wonderful. Well, thank you once again to the jury and to everyone who voted for Token as a finalist. So if you allow me, I'll very briefly explain who Token is and what we are all about. So Token is an open banking payments platform, and we believe that open banking is the greatest disruption to hit financial services in a generation, and that payments are the most exciting opportunity in open banking. So that's why we're on a mission to drive the shift from traditional payment methods like cards and wallets to faster, fairer, frictionless account-to-account payments enabled by open banking. So with account-to-account payments, in very simple terms, we're removing intermediaries from the payment flow. So money's moving directly from a consumer's bank account to a merchant's bank account. In Europe, of course, account-to-account payments have existed as local payment options for quite some time. But what's really changed with open banking is that we can now use APIs to connect Europe's fragmented banking infrastructure. And that makes it much easier to embed bank transfers within a purchase. And because account-to-account payments remove intermediaries from the payment flow, we're also eliminating unnecessary cost and friction. So as a consumer, the user experience of an open banking payment is really great. So there's no onboarding, no repetitive data entry. You simply authenticate the payment, usually biometrically, directly in your mobile banking app. And then on the merchant side, success rates are really high. Open banking payments settle instantly. Merchants never have to share or store sensitive cardholder details. There are no scheme or interchange fees and no chargebacks. And that's really just scratching the surface of why open banking payments have been taking off in the UK and in Europe. So at Token, for example, we saw volumes grow 300% in the UK last year and 800% in Europe. So what is driving that growth? What can you do with open banking payments? Well, the fastest growing use cases that we see at Token include topping up digital wallets, repaying credit card debt, paying bills, e-commerce payments, of course, and even in-store payments. And as capabilities evolve, there are all kinds of new and really exciting things that you can do with open banking payments, but perhaps that's a story for another day. So who is Token? Well, Token provides the connectivity and the payments infrastructure for the most successful open banking payment deployments in both the UK and Europe. We work with customers like MasterCard, HSBC, BNP Paribas, Computop, and PaySafe. And we enable these payment providers to really efficiently launch and ultimately successfully scale with open banking payments. And we do that by providing connectivity to over 80% of bank accounts in 15 countries across Europe. Plus, we offer a unique platform that's really purposefully designed to suit the needs of payment providers. So what do I mean by that? And what makes Token different? Well, only 20% of merchants control their checkout page. So that leaves about 80% of merchants looking to their existing gateway to provide open banking payment capabilities. And unlike other providers in our space who target their solutions directly to merchants, we serve the needs of payment providers who need to deliver open banking capabilities to their merchant customers. And for some time now, payment providers' margins have been eroding, right? Because they're squeezed between card schemes' rising fees and merchants demanding more. We know open banking payments offer all kinds of upsides for consumers and merchants. So this really leaves payment service providers with two choices. And the first one is they can aggregate local alternative payment methods. But the problem with this option is that local alternative payment methods pay notoriously little back to the gateway. And as you can see here, having endless logos on a checkout page is not a very good user experience. So what we offer is an alternative. With our white label ready technology, payment providers can launch their own pay by bank solution. Compared to aggregating other alternative payment methods, this really generates greater revenues and higher margins for payment providers and ultimately provides a much better user experience. I'm really proud to say that since Token processed the first open banking payment transaction in Europe over 5 years ago, we've worked with 80 customers and partners to bring open banking payments to the mainstream. And we are especially delighted to be recognized for this by Chorus today. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jess. I've followed Token for a long time, and it's amazing to see the progress you've made. So now we're going to move on to our next speaker, who will be Gary Lam, who is the CTO of Livy. Now, Livy is a digital bank based in Hong Kong, and they recently won bronze in the digital marketing and sales category in our Chorus Banking Innovation Awards. So Gary is going to talk to us about Livy's approach to payments, and I'll just hand over to Gary because I know he's an excellent presenter and he will take you through their journey.
Hi, thank you, Sarah. Hi, everyone. I couldn't turn on my videos. I don't know why, but let me try one more time. Start my video. Okay, good afternoon and good evening if anyone's in my same time zone in Hong Kong. Yeah, we won awards by Chorus and partners in Barcelona, and we are so glad that now we can be a part of the community and share some of the excitement to you all. So I'm the CTO. We are working on. I'm working on a relatively young virtual bank in Hong Kong, which is like the challenging banks, more so starting in UK, in the European country, and in Hong Kong, there are seven virtual bank licenses over here, and we are one of the bank. virtual banks over here. Before I joined that, I was with Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, HSBC, so we can skip all this. Just a little bunny over there, that is our NFT. I'm going to talk through that in a short time. So on the left-hand side, you can see this is our banking app. It's quite seamless and simple. In Hong Kong, we try to drive some what we call simple UI, so make sure everyone here from 18 years old to 65 years old, they can quite easily to do their everyday spending, like including payment, lending, NFT that I'll talk about just now, and buy now, pay later. We also is the industry first company that creating this regulated buy now, pay later products, and we will go through that shortly as well. There are three major shareholders, Bank of China, Hong Kong, Jardine Matheson, and JD.com. If you look into this page, our product suites, in 2022, we more tap into the retail market. So you can see all this like QR payment is something that I don't see too much around the world, but if you look into in Asian country, very common in that sense. We also have what we call smart QR scanner. We can use this QR scanner, go to the ATM machines and take cash as well. In this year, we also expand our business to insurance. And so I hear John talk about next year, they got InsurTech. Then we may try to submit our proposal on that and see what will the community think about our products. Yeah. So moving on to the use case that we want to talk about today. I just picked one of the products, buy now, pay later. We do that in a different way than everywhere around the world. We didn't go for the buy now, pay later where you've got an app in the mobile app. Customer can get approval per transactions, per purchase. Instead, we only require a customer to do once-off approval. And then when we approve them, we will give them a kind of a credit limits, and then we will attach this facility to a MasterCard. So what that means, once our customer registered with our buy now, pay later MasterCard, every time they do a spending, maybe down to a coffee or all the way to a luxury purchases on luxury bags or items, they can automatically, we will do split for them. In terms of splitting, we give flexibility to our customer as well. At the moment, we are doing from 3 to 36 split available for our customers. Every split, they will need to do the repayments in a monthly manner. Yeah. And where is the innovative area that we put in? Because when we look into that, we find out in a MasterCard ecosystem, there are around 60 to 90 days window before the reconciliation happened. So we kind of take advantages of that, and then we give a flexibility to our customer. They can change the tenor once or twice. So what that means is a user journey would be a customer register our pay later card, and then on the next purchase, maybe they buy a TV or buy a plasma TV or LCD TV. That's they decided to split 3, yeah, and then they did pay $1,000 per month. And all of a sudden, within that 19 days, they decided look into their cash flow, and they decided to change to 36, yeah, and then they will lower down their repayments from $1,000 to $200. So that's the power that we give the flexibility back to our customer. And we are trying to educate the market instead of looking into your credit limits or affordability, we educate the market to look into your cash flow. Yeah, that is a proven better management of wealth. Let's move on to let's some of the partners that we partner locally. So next page, we further enhance this pay later platform. To the next page is the ecosystem partners, again with everyday spending and every other merchants in around Hong Kong. You can go to the next page, we go straight to NFT. Okay, so before this page, let's talk a little bit about the NFT program. I promised to go a little bit deeper on in the introduction. You saw that bunny page before, right? So we attach kind of a layer 2 chain capability into our bank, and then we use that to create a wallet and host an NFT collectible for our customers. And with the buy now pay later capability, and then we create a reward system to use this NFT to link it to various merchants. That you see some brands just now. And one of the successful case we did is with KFC in Hong Kong. We minted around 100,000 NFT in just 2 weeks of time, and then we successfully increased their revenue about 20% on that week. So we are very impressed on this kind of a Web 3.0 power and how we link it to the 2.0 banking services. So looking at this, what is beyond what we are looking forward to. So just now, Nick showed us a glimpse of how a traditional bank through merchant acquiring and then get a product pay me and got a wallet, got this network effect. And for us, we are doing similar, but we look beyond. So how can we look into not like we need to partners and own everything by one bank, but instead we open up, just like Nick also talked about that, like on the repayment on that scenario. And we also did the same. We try to standardize our API with the markets and try to push forward with the usability and different what we call scenario-based financial, such that we can have the community or the industry to grow together from what we call open banking, move towards to what we call open finance. And I'm really looking forward to, with Web 1.3 technology, we can go into what we call open economy. So let's move on to the next page. All right, so this is just now I talked about the NFT program. This is one of the program, another program, not the KFC one. We have minted around 2,000 NFT, and in that program we have around 20,000 people subscribed to it. Looking to the number is kind of quite small, right? But if you look into a common collectible project in the world, that is something anywhere between $6 million USD to $20 million USD kind of projects. So this is our first test. If you go into the next page, is the KFC promotion that I'm talking about. So we minted 100,000 NFTs, yeah, and then for the merchant they also top up the offers. So they got like a black, the red, and the white one, which is like what we call is like a whole year free check-in for the customer who won the golden NFT, right? So we try to combine the traditional world with the Web 3.0, and yet we add it up to the banking service. So with this mechanism, what we think, we are thinking beyond that right now. So we have a wallet, we can mint NFT for merchants, for our partners, to create this kind of what we call mini loyalty program. And while we are doing that, we not only can allow our merchant, all of a sudden they will have something what we call hassle-free kind of NFT to mint it to the mass market, because you know anywhere in the world, if you want to have an NFT wallet, you kind of need to be tax savvy to get a digital wallet to hold the thing. And then sometimes you worry about your assets, your digital assets or cryptocurrency will be lost somehow, right? But with a banking infrastructure, we already have few billions dollars in the bank, in the backend infrastructure. If we use that wallet to put NFT, that could give an extra layer of confidence and security on that. On the other side, while we're doing that, we link it up, right? So the first showcase over here, we link it up with the payment facilities. So later on, it's up to our imagination. Can we link it with wealth management products, or can we link it with a time deposit, for example? Now the interest rate is so high that can create another specific scenarios for what we call scenario financing as well. So let's move on to that. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening or sharing from Leafy Bank in Hong Kong, one of the leading virtual banks in Hong Kong. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gary. It's always a pleasure to hear from you, and I always enjoy hearing your stories about NFTs. If anybody has any further questions about the NFTs, do reach out to Gary, because honestly, there's some excellent anecdotes to go with that product. But before I let you go, Gary, I would like to ask you to announce the silver winner for our NewTech Challenge in payments. The winner will win all of the prizes displayed on that slide. So over to you, Gary.
Sure, thank you so much. It is my honor to help Chorus to announce these awards. When I look into, and Capgemini as well, when I look into the as a jury of this round, there are many different payments technologies, and I'm so excited. This is one of my picks, and I'm proudly to present them. It's Unbanked for silver winners. Yeah. So they are one of the bank that is pushing Web 3.0 hardly, and then they also link like what LiffyBank does and link it to debit cards and other lending facilities. And I think in other side of the world have this kind of products in US. It is quite impressive, and they deserve it for a silver winning awards. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gary. Unfortunately, Unbanked couldn't be with us here today, but they are very well deserved silver winners. So without further ado, we are going to move on to our next presentation, and that is from our partners, Capgemini. Capgemini are going to give us an exclusive presentation. They're going to be giving us their perspective on the fintech ecosystem. And to do that, we have very, very pleased to have with us Pierre-Olivier Bouet. I do apologize if I pronounced that wrong. My French accent has never been very good. He is the Executive Vice President and Global Sales Officer for Financial Services at Capgemini, and he has an incredibly distinguished career, starting out as Deputy Head of International Debt Office at the Treasury Department of French Government Ministry of Economy and Finance, and then working through a huge array of very prestigious businesses, before finally joining Capgemini in the position he's in today. So we're very, very pleased to have him with us, and we are very much looking forward to what he has to tell us. Pierre-Olivier, over to you.
Sarah, thank you so much. I'm not sure whether I should be blushing or I should be very worried by your presentation, because I think you have created a lot of expectations. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to meet the expectation you've set, but thank you so much for so kindly introducing me. So my name is indeed Pierre-Olivier Bouet, and I'm the Global Sales Officer for Financial Services at Capgemini. In my role, I cover our clients in the financial services across the world. I know you are all awaiting the part afterwards in which we announce the gold winner of the payment challenge, but I'm going to ask you for a few minutes of patience, as I would like to take you through what we at Capgemini are doing to facilitate collaboration between fintechs and corporates. But first, a few words about Capgemini. Even though I hope that most, if not all of you, already know who we are very well. So for more than 50 years now, we've been dedicated partner to organizations around the world, acting as a business and technology transformation partner. We are a diverse collective of over 340,000 strategic and technological experts across more than 50 countries. And we are all driven by one shared purpose, which is unleashing human energy through technology for an inclusive and sustainable future. As we leverage cloud, data, AI, connectivity, software, digital engineering, and platforms to address the entire breadth of business needs, this passion drives a powerful commitment to unlock the true value of technology for your business, for our planet and our society, for a more inclusive and sustainable future. We have more than 18 billion in turnover, a presence, as mentioned, in more than 50 countries, and working with more than 120 nationalities. Capgemini is a global leader in consulting, digital transformation, technology, and engineering services. And we are working worldwide with nearly all the big financial institutions, which we are serving across the range of our services. And in this very competitive world, these financial institutions are particularly challenged by new players, such as neobanks or fintechs, who are, next slide, we are focusing a lot on user experience and agility to achieve success. We are, of course, involved with many of these new players to help them developing and implementing more agile, more modern solutions in an increasingly tight time to market. But in a world where agility in customer experience, time to market, and innovation, to name only a few elements, are becoming increasingly important, we believe that collaboration between established corporates and fintech has become absolutely key. And we see ourselves as a facilitator, as playing a facilitator role in this collaboration. When a large bank or a large insurance company wants to work with a fintech or insurtech, that's when, in practice, a significant number of challenges emerge. And to make it simple, I would say these challenges can be summarized around two axes or two questions. The first one, how to find the right partner. And the second, as important, if not more important, how to ensure that the solution is adopted. And adoption is a key word. But adoption is one thing, it's adopted and effectively used. And that's where we believe we can be of help. Finding the right partner to start with. This is the reason why we collaborate with Chorus today. Indeed, there would be more than 55,000 fintech valued at more than $1 million to look around in the world. So how can we find the right one on our own? This is where we are valuing Chorus expertise, its relationship with bank and insurance company around the world, and its fintech network. And this is helping us in terms of identifying for each of our client requests, each new project, to validate our choices, to find new innovative startup. Of course, in addition to Chorus FinTech Network, we are also our own contact network with startup, which we call AIEs. Let's stay on the previous slide, sorry. And our collaboration is summed up in this slide. Over 3,700 startup businesses spotted, each offering unique technology and unique engineering solutions. Approximately 740, well, it's 739, connected to Capgemini clients in joint projects, proposal, or proof of concept. 300 startups working directly with our clients, and 7 key startups having received from Capgemini direct investment. Second question is how to make sure that the solution we use can be effectively used. And that's where we have developed an assessment program in 5 steps, which is in the next slide. It starts with a self-declaration questionnaire sent to the startup. The scale-up is invited, as we call the startup, is invited to answer a detailed questionnaire, which is over 100 questions, and review the answers obtained through web scraping. The scale-up may either confirm or modify the data collected or add missing information. We then move to the next step, which is interviews, and we have 4 in-depth interviews of 2 hours each with experts from our company. Experts, we are working on the 4 pillars of credibility for a startup. Their role is to qualify the scale-up answers in relation to business opportunity, scalability, cybersecurity, and team dynamics. And then the last, at the end of the process, we have a very exhaustive and what we think is impartial vision of the scale-up of the startup with which our client wishes to collaborate. And we produce 2 detailed reports, one for the client, who has mandated us to look at the startup, and one for the startup itself, which is meant to help them understand where they could improve or where their strengths are. And overall, this process has been working very well for many years, and we believe it's been a key tool in making sure we can very broadly look at the market and find the right solution for the right clients. So, in conclusion, collaboration with fintech is a necessity. It's not a question, it's a necessity for the financial sector. Finding the right partner is key, and we believe through our collaboration with Chorus, we are able to bring a very important role in terms of facilitating this collaboration and making it work, because we find the right partners, and as importantly, we make sure that whatever solution this partner provides is being effectively adopted and used. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Pierre-Olivier. I have a question for you, if I may.
Yeah, please.
Which areas do financial services companies find it hardest to find partners? Is there any particular area that they think this is impossible, but this one's easier?
I think it's not the partners, the difficulty. The difficulty is where the partnership works in practice. This is why I was insisting on the second point. Finding the partner, and we work with you very effectively, you find the partner. And there are a lot of solutions, and people are very, very innovative these days. So I don't think there is any part of the financial services which has not been looked at least several times by people trying to improve this. The key is the adoption. The key is moving away from the proof of concept making sure that at the end of the day, the solution is being used and is being used effectively. So it doesn't end up being a rehash of another solution. And then you end up with duplication and it's not creating the right outcome. So for me, the second part is by far the most important. But I don't think the people who are on this webinar or people in the world looking at fintech, I don't think anybody has not looked at least once at an area where things could be improved in financial services.
Yeah,
It's
no, absolutely.
adoption. It's adoption, adoption, adoption.
And it's unfair to, and large companies know this, it's unfair to startups to give them what we call a slow death, because it just takes too long to work it out.
It's absolutely the worst. And many good solutions, many good ideas have been killed by the slow death. And that's why we are so much insisting on adoption.
Brilliant.
Proof of concept is great, but it's not sufficient. It's, as they say in English, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So let's say that the proof of the pudding for fintech is in the adoption.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, absolutely, that's true. And you know, we're very much looking forward to working with you here at Chorus going forward. Cheeky question: what's your favorite thing about working with Chorus?
You make things easier for me because I don't need to go through the 55,000 fintech every time.
Brilliant.
You make it easy for us. That's what the partnership is about, and you bring a lot of value in our discussion.
Absolutely, and that's how a partnership should work. Both parties should find it easier to move forward together. Before I let you go, I will ask you to just tell us who has won gold today. The gold winner will win all of these fantastic prizes listed on this slide, including working very, very closely with Capgemini themselves, which is amazing in and of itself. Pierre-Olivier, over to you.
Well, I'm really pleased to announce the name of the gold award winner. It's a company which is focusing on payment, of course. It's called Wallet Factory. It's based in Poland. And I'm very impressed by the solution they have put forward. So really, really looking forward to the opportunity of working with them. I don't know if they are attending or not, if anyone is attending from Wallet Factory.
I actually don't know the answer to that question either, which is a little unfortunate. If there is anybody from Wallet Factory,
I'm here.
You are there, please. I do apologize.
So Dimitri, congratulations.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Piero.
Nice to meet you.
Over to you, Dimitri. Please feel free. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Sarah. To tell you the truth, this is the first time I received such kind of an award, just staying in my kitchen with a cup of coffee, you know. So speaking seriously, it's a huge honor to accept this award on behalf of everyone at Wallet Factory, as our company, our team works from all over the globe, including Ukraine. Our top priority has always been to improve financial inclusion for the underserved, especially in emerging markets like Middle East and North Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean regions. So we are earnestly glad to help our clients provide underbanked communities with access to mobile-driven financial services. By the way, today's award is the perfect addition to the recent Chorus Accenture Banking Innovation Awards, where our client, the Belize Bank, got silver for the nationwide digital wallet application delivered by Wallet Factory. We really love what we do at Wallet Factory. Our team brings a personal touch to our digital wallets and customer loyalty programs to make people happy and satisfied with new payment solutions. We are deeply grateful to Chorus and Capgemini for the recognition and for putting a heightened focus on the importance of global digital transformation and financial technology innovations that impact all of us. Let me thank all of you present here today for your patience listening to my speech and for a huge commitment to the industry's growth and the common good. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dimitri.
Thank you so much, Dimitri. It's a pleasure to have you here. And thank you to you, Pierre-Olivier. I will let you go. So thank you to all our presenters and congratulations to all of our winners. We do have one final presentation of the day, which is on best practices in open banking. Now, this presentation comes from Banco do Brasil, and they know what they're talking about because they recently won gold in the Reimagining Customer Experience category at the Chorus Banking Innovation Awards. Speaking on their behalf is Tom Suarez, the Operation Banking Strategy Manager. So without further ado, I will hand over to Tom to give his presentation.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you all. Let me share my presentation here. Hold on, please. Are you guys seeing?
Yes, we can see that perfectly.
Okay, thank you. Well, as Sarah said, I'm Aglailton Soares. My nickname is Tom. I think it's easier than Aglailton, so you can call me Tom. I work at Banco do Brasil. I am the Open Finance Strategy Manager. So I prepared a few slides just to guide me on our conversation. So let me introduce you Banco do Brasil here. Banco do Brasil is the biggest bank in South America. We have around 86,000 employees. We have 81 million customers. So we are talking about a big bank, and which 27 million customers are digital. They use every day our app or our internet banking. Then another number, we have around 4 physical brands around Brazil and abroad Brazil. And Banco do Brasil is around is more than 200 years. So we have a great history here in Brazil. So let's talk about open finance here in Brazil. How is the implementation of open finance in Brazil? As you know, open finance is a structure where the customer can exchange your financial data, and of course is regulated by our central bank. The Central Bank of Brazil, they divided into phases our open finance here. The first phase was where all the participating institutions can share your portfolio of products or services. It happened on February 21. Then we had the second phase where it's open banking as we see nowadays all around the world, where all the customers were able to authorize the sharing of their registration data, transactional data, or product or service in the banks. And the third phase that we right now is we are working to put here in Brazil, all the banks and all fintechs, the payment initiation service here. It's in progress. And the next step, we are going to put the insurance and investment in the next year. So it's very hard. It's very hard, and it's very difficult to implement the open finance here in Brazil. But we are very happy, and the clients and the customers are very happy too. So we are going to explore a little bit 3 cases here. We are using WhatsApp to get more consents, the client to bring a great experience for our customers. So in this case, we use data to identify that the customer has a loan at another bank, and we send a message on his WhatsApp advising on the best use of personal credit at our bank. So here we are having a great success with this case here on WhatsApp, and here we are talking about financial education. So it's a very good case that I'm bringing here. And another case using WhatsApp again. Now we are talking about here in this case that I'm going to talk. We are using open finance, and our strategy as a bank as a platform that we are bringing some store to our app. So we help our customer to purchase at lower cost. We use data to identify customers who have shopped at partner stores with credit cards from other banks to offer cash back when they shop with our credit cards. This is a great case. We are having again a great success, and we see direct from this case our NPS is increasing. And of course, the last case here, we are bringing. We are the first bank in the world to use the message application WhatsApp to complete the consent journey by customers. So we work a lot to put this on. As you know, the client has to start the consent journey in a bank A, then they go to a bank B, and then have to return to the bank A to complete the journey. And all this journey here on a WhatsApp and conversation experience carried out with a chatbot. So this is a very great case that I'm bringing here, and we are very happy to be the first bank in the world to use this journey on WhatsApp. And here on the next slide, I'm gonna show you a little bit about this journey. Are you listening?
Yes, we can hear it.
So this was my presentation here. Let me show. Let me come back here to the presentation. So this is my last slide. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for that, Tom. And I have to say that journey on WhatsApp looks so much easier than what I have to do in the UK here by juggling between, different apps. Even though it's smoother than it is in other parts of the world, it's still quite complicated. I just had a quick question for you, if you have time. And that is kind of what's the biggest challenge to be the first person to do this? Because obviously, if other people do it first, you can learn. But if you go first, it's got to be quite a lot of hurdles.
I'm sorry. That's a great question. The biggest challenge was to transform the existing experience that took place in China in the BB, in Banco do Brasil app, into a conversational experience carried out with a chatbot. Then it was also a challenge to adapt the conversation experience to open finance regulatory requirements. That was very, very hard without other similar reference and such as a documentation or implementations case. So it was very, very difficult, but we are very happy to share this journey to our customers.
Yes, it's always regulation that that gets in the way. We need it, but sometimes it makes life a little difficult. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Tom, and thank you to everyone who's joined us today, to our presenters, to our award winners. We hope you've had an excellent afternoon. Before I go, I did want to give you a sneak peek of what's coming next. As I mentioned, payments was just our first topic. Next year, we're going to be looking at how open finance specifically applies to the insurance industry, which I hope will be, well, I know will be of interest to many of you. And after that, we're going to be delving down the DeFi rabbit hole. So that's certainly not one to miss. So we do hope you'll join us. We're going to have more awards, we're going to have more exclusive content, and we're going to have some meetups as well. So do find a way to join the community, or do come and join our community, I should say. Please let us know if you have any further questions. My details are on there, as are Elena, who is our excellent community manager. She keeps us all in check and makes us sure that we know exactly what's going on and when it's happening. But yes, any questions, do reach out. Otherwise, I wish you all an excellent morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever in the world you are. Thank you.